Yo, peace. It's Kashanta. Check it out. It's been a while since I did one of these videos. So it's 2026. We're going to do it like this. All right, I was watching my favorite QB. And he was doing an interview, keeping it funky. And they was talking about how some people are ungrateful. They say, it's very disrespectful if somebody goes out of their way, work hard to get somebody an opportunity, and they don't take advantage of the opportunity, being lazy or whatever reason. They say that's very disrespectful. When someone works hard to get you an opportunity and you don't take advantage of it, they say that's disrespectful, ungrateful. And then, first of all, they made a great point. Some people are ungrateful. It just needs to be said, some people are ungrateful. But we got to leave it at that, though. We got to leave it at that. Because they went on to say, like average people do, well, if I didn't, or if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this opportunity. And that's when you enter into what I call devilish energy. Because what it is, when you say, well, if I didn't, well, if you didn't help him, God would have used somebody else to help him. Simple as that. Or when you say, well, if I didn't, you wouldn't have this. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this opportunity. Well, if it wasn't for you, they might have a better opportunity. If it wasn't for you, they might have had a better opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So what you got to realize is you are not the source. You are the resource. You are the vessel that God used to help someone. And you must be grateful that God allowed you to help someone. You got to be grateful that God chose you to help someone. You got to be grateful that God chose you to help someone, all right? You got to be grateful that he even allowed you to take part in his process. And this is how they're supposed to go. You got to keep God at the forefront of your mind. You got to see, when you have that attitude, well, if I didn't, or if it wasn't for me, then God is out of sight. He's out of your third eye. He's out of your vision. He's out of your mind. He's out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of that third eye vision. God is out of sight. He's out of your third eye. He's not on your mind, okay? So when God is on your mind, you're not going to be like, well, if it wasn't for me, or if I didn't do this, you're going to be thinking about God. You're going to be thinking, first of all, when you help somebody, when they thank you, you got to be like, to God be the glory. And let God be glorified. You know what I'm saying? When they thank you, they be like, thank you, like, to God be the glory. That's, it's not about being humble. It's about giving God his glory. This is what it is. God is the source. You are the resource. God chose you to be the vessel. He filled you as the vessel. He filled you so then you can in turn pour into somebody else and fill their cup, let them overflow. And then, they go to somebody else and they be like, Dad, you was just doing bad. How you get out of that? And they be like, well, God sent such and such to help me. And then that's the testimony. And that's how God gets his glory. You are the vessel. You pour into someone else. Their cup is overflowing. And then someone else can then sip from that cup. I'm going to say it again. God chooses his vessel. He fills that vessel. As that vessel, you pour into someone else and fill their cup. And then they go testify and somebody can then sip from their cup. You understand what I'm saying? Like food for thought. When they testify, that's their living water. And that's how God gets his glory. He don't get no glory when you talk about, well, if I didn't do this, or if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for you, they might have had a better opportunity. If you didn't help them, God would have used somebody else. You understand? When you start talking about, well, if I didn't do this, or if it wasn't for me, then that's devilish energy, because you're putting yourself in God's position. You're removing yourself as the resource and making yourself the source. You are not somebody's source, all right? And there's another end of that. When you're talking about, well, if I don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. Like if I don't get over on them, somebody else is going to get over on them. If I don't steal it, somebody else is going to steal it. If I don't lie, if I don't tell that lie, somebody else is going to tell that. It's when you're doing dirt. If I don't do that dirt, somebody else is going to do that dirt. So I'd rather benefit from it. But you need to let God benefit from you not doing the dirt. Again, God is not in sight, so he's not in mind. He's not in that third eye vision. He's not in sight, so he's not in mind. Because you like, man, if I don't do it, somebody else going to do it. If I don't do that dirt, somebody else going to do it. When you need to be thinking, well, if somebody do that dirt, it ain't going to be me. And then God can then use you to represent him, and he can get that glory out of you not doing the dirt. Instead of you being like, man, somebody going to get over. I want to be the one to get over. Well, if you don't get over, God will bless you even more. Ill-gotten gains only last a season. Whatever you do from getting over, it ain't going to last. But if you choose not to do that, God will bless you, and that'll last you evermore. You know, your cup runneth over. So, I don't want this video to be too long. But just to recap, we are not the source. We are the resource. We are the vessel God chooses. He fills us so that we can then pour into someone else and fill their cup. Their cup then runneth over because they're testifying. When we help somebody, we say, they thank us, we say, to God be the glory. Thank God. Don't thank me, thank God. To God be the glory. I thank God for allowing me to help you. Allow me to be in a position to help. And when you help somebody, you know, tell them, hey, listen, let me pray for you. Before I can help you, I need to pray. And you pray like, Lord, I pray you meet this person at their point of need and leave them in abundance. You know, if you want me to help you, you got to allow me to pray. You got to bring God into it. You got to put God in sight. You got to put God on their mind. You got to get God in their third eye, on their mind. It's your job. Can God choose you? Can he count on you not to do the dirt and represent him? Can he count on you to give him glory if he put you in a position to help somebody and he calls on you to help somebody? Are you going to stick your chest out like, yeah, I did that? Or are you going to give God the glory? Like, when they thank you, you're going to be like, to God be the glory. So they can go testify. When somebody be like, dang, man, how you get out of there? They're like, well, God sent such and such to help me. I promise you'll get more glory out of giving God the glory than taking it on yourself. We're not the source, we're the resource. We are the vessel God uses to pour into someone else. And then someone else can then take a sip from that cup that we poured into. You understand? Peace and love. Get out of here.